had a mystery on our hands this week. The scholars in this room are the crew of the mighty ship, the Envisioner. While in search of an ancient treasure, we were marooned on an island and a key part of our navigational map went missing. Of the entire crew, we considered 4 suspects. Today you will hear the evidence collected against Dr. Smart and Shipwright Neff.
Hi, Dr. Smart called us to help the injured crew members. Today I'm going to show you how to do the arm. First you're going to start by taking the splint and folding it in half. Then you're going to open the splint and put the patient's arm inside. Then you're going to slowly close it. For the upper part, you're going to bend it. Same with the lower part. You're going to ask the patient to hold on to the lower part. Next, you're going to fold the splint to make a human arm shape. Then you're going to put the patient's arm inside again and bend the bottom. Then you're going to take your bandage and wrap it around. When you're done with that, you're going to find one of the loops that you made and tuck the end of it in. And then you have a secure splint that will stay on until the human arm will feel better.
So this is me and my classmates made models of lungs to show how breathing works. So this is a presentation of how the lung works. The straw represents the trachea, which is attached to the cilia, and the nostrils, which brings in air to the alveoli, therefore causing you to breathe. Alveoli are sacs that contain air. So if you are not getting enough air in those sacs, then you will have a hard time breathing or you'll die.
We made a model lung because Dr. Smart needed to learn more about the lung for the best treatment. There are 4 parts of the human lung: the alveoli, the diaphragm, the bronchi, and the lung. Basically, the glue on the bottom of the lung you'd pull it and that would be an inhale, and when you push up, that would be an exhale. So, inhale, exhale, like a normal lung.
Count to ensure all envisioners were accounted for. We discovered that some have gone missing on the island. I have put together a search team to determine their location. Since we are unfamiliar with the island, parts of it could be unavailable to safely travel through. To save our comrades, a robot may be the best way to search for them. The robot that we have built had very specific instructions, such as connecting motors, attaching wires, and screwing screws. It even came with its own screwdriver. You can program your robot to do anything you want, and that will be great for the island.
Ready? So we have to find the missing crew members. So we programmed robots to help find them. So we built a bridge, and my friend here will explain how he built it. Alright? We need to build a bridge for the Ambot so it can get over the flood water. We used straws, paper clips, paper, tape, and some hard work, and we got this bridge. We put the straws together with the paper clips, just like this. Bend the straw, put the paper clips in, and then use 2 more paper clips and a straw, tape it. And then, alright, your turn.
The how we built it is 3 triangles on each side. The point of the triangle, if you press it down, it distributes the weight evenly because it tries to tear out right here, but since that can't happen because it's taped in, so it basically can't really be hurt. And luckily this isn't the London Bridge, so it won't fall down.
So earlier in this video, we had 2 of our crew members disappeared, Neff and Young. We found them with the robot, and Young says Neff kidnapped her, and Neff claims innocence. While they were going back, Young was bitten by a snake. Now, if she was bitten by a snake with neurotoxic venom, her head would have gotten fuzzy, seeing as neurotoxic venom damages the nerves. However, if she was bitten by a snake with hemotoxic venom, her head would be clear, but she would have a lot of tissue damage. We have to find out which kind of snake bit her. We found out that it was a Malayan pit viper, which has hemotoxic venom, which means that Neff kidnapped her. And we could also supply her with the much-needed antidote. But if your much-needed antidote isn't nearby, here are some tips for what to do with a snake bite. So first, you know how the snake looks. This is crucial if you want an appropriate antidote. You have to move away from the location, slowly though. If you move too fast, your heart will pump the snake venom through your blood even more. After that, you should call 911. And that will get you medical attention and hopefully an anti-venom. You should remove rings and watches. Those could cut off circulation and trap the poison in one part of your body. Extreme cases of this can result in amputation. Remain calm. You don't want, if you're not calm, your heart will beat faster and the venom will course through your lungs. And you want to immobilize it with a loose splint. Do not give the person caffeine, apply a cold compress, or run away. All of these could make your heart beat faster and therefore spread the venom through your body. Don't apply tourniquet because it could trap the venom in one part of your body. Don't cut into the snake bite, it's just making it worse. You could push the venom even farther in. Besides, the venom's already in your bloodstream. Don't suck out the venom. If it goes into your digestive system, let's just say it won't be pretty. Don't capture the snake. This could cause you to get bitten a second time, and it would be twice as worse.
1002.
Dr. Smart thanks you all for supporting his examination of the Envisioneer crew after the shipwreck. Now that most of the crew has received treatment, they have been hard at work rebuilding the crew's living quarters and exploring the island. The physical demands of these activities have left one of the deckhands feeling highly fatigued and unable to work. After Dr. Smart's examination, he concluded that the deckhand is experiencing symptoms related to the cardiovascular system. Dr. Smart sees this as an opportunity to learn more about how the heart functions. He has provided us with hearts to dissect so we can understand his treatment.
We dissected a cow heart to find the vessels of a working heart. We used it to help Dr. Smart help the deckhand. We used the cow heart because it's a little bit bigger than a human heart, but it has the same functions.
We found these parts of the heart while dissecting them. We found the vena cava, the right atrium, the right ventricle, the left ventricle, the right atrium, the plumentary veins, and the plumentary artery. Left atrium. So we could better understand Dr. Smart's way of treating the cardiovascular system.
Learning CSI, and we are in the middle of a crime scene. This is a writing from the captain's log. My growing suspicion surrounding the whereabouts of the missing map has taken me back to the scene of the crime to analyze the blood spatter that was left. As we already know, many of the crew members have cuts and injuries. To determine whose blood this is, I need you to create a blood spatter sample dropped from different heights. Later, you will be able to compare your samples to those found at the crime scene.
I'm going to show you what I used hold on. I'm going to show you what I used to drop the blood sample. This is what I used. We dropped blood from 12 inches, 30 inches, and 66.
We analyzed the blood spatter, and I averaged the diameter of the blood drops, and I got 13. The diameter is the length of the drop.
So as you can see, we figured out who had the cut and where it came from. I have just concluded interviews with the crew about what they saw the night of the storm and after the ship wrecked, with hopes of learning more about our suspect's movement. The chief steward remembers seeing Neff following Young exiting the ship. He reported that Young had a gash on her shin and Neff was holding a cloth over the side of his head. When I spoke to Potter, I noticed blood below his right knee. He says it wasn't him and he must have gotten it while helping Dr. Smart. I get to speak with Dr. Smart, but recall a bandage around his hand as he examined me after the shipwreck. It is important that you determine the height the blood fell from to help find the thief.
During our adventure for some treasure, someone stole a piece of our precious treasure map.
There were 7 things left at the scene of the crime: a mysterious powder, a blood spatter, an overturned cup, a compass, a stethoscope, a pocket knife, and a mallet.
The mallet belonged to Shipwright Neff. The pocket knife belonged to First Mate Young. The stethoscope belonged to Dr. Smart, and the compass belonged to Navigator Potter. Now that we have our suspect, it is now time to figure out who had stolen the map.
As you already know, a mysterious powder was left at the scene of the crime, and to figure out who it was, we looked at 4 other powders.
The 4 other powders were powdered sugar, cream of tartar, baking soda, and cornstarch. We mixed all of them with vinegar, iodine, and finally water, and found out the pH levels.
After all of these tests, we have concluded that the mystery powder was cornstarch.
We will be talking about how we discovered whose fingerprint was on the cup that was found in the captain's room. We took the cup, dusted it to find out who left their fingerprints on the cup.
After gently dusting the cup with cocoa powder, we could identify the fingerprint had a whirl pattern, which we discovered was Neff's fingerprint.
Based on all of the evidence our STEM group has submitted, we believe that Dr. Smart and Shipwright Neff are guilty of stealing the ancient map.